Hey everyone. So with interest rates still being double what it was in 2021, people are now looking at 2-1 buy downs. So if you look at companies like Ryan Homes that are builders, they build properties in Ohio and other states. They are looking at putting people into homes with mortgage options like the 2-1 buy down. What is a 2-1 buy down? So whatever interest rate you should be at, you're going to pay at 2% less than that for the first year, 1% less than that for the second year, and then you will be paying the actual interest rate in the third year. Here's the problem with that. If people are not putting 20% down or more, they may not be able to refinance out of that property, especially if interest rates continue to remain high and property prices come down. Another thing that you should be aware of is if you can't afford the higher interest rate, if you can barely afford it 2% lower, then you may be someone who forecloses on their property because you cannot afford it. So, with that being said, this is definitely a risky mortgage option for certain people who may be buying a house for the first time, may not know what they're actually doing, and they see this as a nice price point to get into the market, not knowing that they're going to get an unexpected increase in their mortgage payment for the next 2 years to come. This can be very damaging to people who may not be able to have upward mobility in their job. They may be forced to take on a second job. And we never know what happens in the future, so the risk is only going up. If your payment is going up, the risk is also going up. So that's something to take note of as well. I do think this is very scammy. Obviously, yes, it's an option afforded to us all, but the fact that people are resulting to this doesn't make me feel good about the economy and us as consumers, as American consumers, because I see people taking this and not really understanding their financial situation, wanting to get a house because they were just in a boom market and everybody was telling you to get a house. You're finally able to go out and shop for one, and now you're buying it with a 2-1 buy down because you can't afford these inflated prices or the interest rate that is coming with. So with that being said, as Americans or consumers, they are going to consume these 2-1 buy downs, and I would say a good percentage of them are going to be holding the bag, unable to sell, unable to refinance, and unfortunately, they may be foreclosed upon. You see, you cannot hope for lower rates in 2024, 2025. All we can do is buy what we can afford now, rather than assuming we can afford more later or that we can refinance into something cheaper later. So with that being said, I do not agree with people taking out the 2-1 buy down, no matter how smart they think they are, no matter how many times they purchase a property or any of that. It's just like an adjustable rate mortgage to me, except you already know what the rate is going to be in 2 years. So to me, that's just as risky as an adjustable rate mortgage. And in good times, that's not something that I would have done. And in bad times, it's definitely not something that I would have done. So, again, just so people are aware of mortgages, I have went over mortgages in previous videos, the type of mortgage loans options that you can have from FHA, VA, conventional, the types of ARMs that you can get, DSCR loans, 203K loans, and all other types of loans. But I don't believe that I went over the 2-1 buy down loans. And let's say, for example, your interest rate is 6%. You would start off with a 4% interest rate in your first year. Then you would go to a 5% interest rate in your first full year. And then in your second year, you would go to that 6% rate that you should have had to begin with. And if you were unable to afford the 6% interest rate previously, and you don't get an increase in your job, you don't get an increase in whatever, you may be paying more than 50% of your income towards your home. And that would essentially make you house poor, considering you have other debts like a car loan or medical bills or student loans or anything of that sort. So even if you didn't have all those things, to have 50% or more of your income going towards your home can be devastating, can be tight on the pockets, and can stop you from investing in things like the stock market and other facets so that you can be on your way to financial freedom. So that's why I don't agree with the 2-1 buy down, because I see it as a gateway for people to get into a home that they truly cannot afford. And then when the market corrects itself and prices do go down ever so slightly, you will have less equity in the homes, and you won't be able to refinance even if rates did go down. So it may not be for 5, 6, 7 years before you see the property values increase by more than 20%, which will allow you to then refinance into a better rate than what we are now currently seeing in this inflated economy. And as every analyst has said, the possibility of seeing interest rates as low as 2 or 3% are long gone. You can pray for 4%, but I'm a firm believer that we will be back at 5% interest rates at some point in the next 10 years. But at this time, we cannot bet on that. We cannot hope for that. Some people can buy down their rate and probably get something in the low 5s even now. But yeah, this is just the cycle that we're in. This is just the economy that we're in, where people are now basically scamming those who are maybe first-time home buyers and don't really know what they're doing with this mortgage loan option that most people haven't heard of, which is the 2-1 buy down, just to get them into a house, just to sell that property that they just built and get rid of that debt that they have to their names. And now you leave the consumer holding the bag on a property that they will not be able to afford 1 to 2 years from now. So just be very, very cautious and very, very aware of your financial situation and what you may have to pay if you do go with this 2-1 buy down option. And again, I'm completely against it. I don't believe anyone should do it. But if you do it, be aware of what you may be paying and the increase in property taxes that may be coming because of the inflated property prices in your areas or your local state taxes that may contribute to an even higher price later down the line. With that being said, I post every single day at 8 a.m. And if you like the content that I'm giving you, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so I can see you on the next one. Peace.